I don't ask for a lot, all right? For the next 2 days, I'm going to be shameless about this because I want this book to be everywhere. I have got a book out tomorrow. Buck's got one that's coming out in January. You basically have to be shameless this day and age to get anyone to buy books. You guys read. I would deeply appreciate if you would go buy a copy. I'm holding it up on video right now of my book. I would love for this to be the best-selling book in America this week because I think the arguments that I make in it, it's got a funny title. It's going to have appeal, I think, for a lot of people out there. The book is called Balls, B-A-L-L-S. You know my name. It is Clay Travis. This will be in bookstores everywhere. But if you could go buy it right now, it would matter to me tremendously. I don't ask for very much. In fact, I'm in a good spot where I'm going to donate the proceeds from this book to charity. So I don't I've been, Buck, before when I wrote books, man, I didn't have any money. And I've been in that situation out there where I got nothing, and the book sales help to get my kids fed and help me to pay my mortgage. I'm in a good spot where I don't have to have that. I feel incredibly fortunate, which is why I'm going to donate the proceeds. But I do want the arguments here to get out. So the book is Balls. You can go buy it on Amazon. There's a link up on my Twitter profile page. If you want the audiobook, Buck hasn't done this yet. I sat in a windowless room and I read the entire book. Every word written by me, every word read by me. So if you're not a reader, if you're like my wife and you drive kids around all day and you listen to audiobooks, it is me reading this entire book. Again, I'm going to talk about it today. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. You're going to see me on every Fox News show. You're going to see me on media everywhere. I'm going to be on with Glenn Beck in the morning. I'm going to be on with Jesse Kelly in the evenings on Premiere. Should we reach out to Hannity? I'll be on Hannity's TV show. I probably should be on Hannity's radio show too. The book is Balls. It has 2 big basketballs on the cover. Should be everywhere. Please go buy it. It would mean a ton to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Your kids, your grandkids. If you got young men,
question.
It's all about that. Yes.
Question. First of all, go get balls.
Thank you.
You got to have balls.
And I hate being shameless and just having to be a salesperson, but this is what is demanded in book sales today.
You hate being shameless. This audience is like our family. You know what I mean? Like let's.
But asking for something directly for me, it's rare that I come on and I say, "Hey, please go buy this book directly for me." But yes,
we gotta get Clay on that bestseller list for sure. So please go out there, get your copy, and we'll do all kinds of fun stuff here on the show about it. I was going to ask you a question, though, as we are selling copies of Balls. So, I know Glenn pretty darn well because I worked for Glenn. He started my media career, as everyone knows, who listens to me. And I worked for Glenn for 6 years. So I know Glenn pretty well. Glenn knows less about professional athletics than I do. Sean strikes me as very much like a bro, like a dude.
Sean's a big sports fan.
He's a big sports fan because I've never talked to Sean about that, so I have no idea if he's a big sports guy. He's a big sports guy.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say even if you're not a big sports person, if you have kids, sports sometimes can be the hook to get them to pay attention. So there are a lot of aspects of sports here. Really, this is about young men. I would say the thesis of the book is why have we lost masculinity in America? And how do we potentially get it back? What does it mean to be a strong man? This is not an anti-woman book, but I feel like we have there's a lot of women out there that get it. You have kids, you have grandkids, and there's a lot of women that have had to deal with weak men in their life. So I think a lot of them will appreciate this too. But how did we go from, hey, it's good for men and women to be equal to toxic masculinity is a thing and being a man is a bad thing? And part of this was a response in the 2024 election. I think Trump felt this, but it's sort of an examination of gender roles and how we've decided that in order to elevate women, we have to tear down men. And I think it's an important conversation. I think a lot of moms feel it because you're raising boys. I think a lot of you out there that are dads or granddads, you feel it because you look around and you think, and certainly if you've got young men, this is who the book is really trying to get in their head. And there's a part, I've been thinking about this a lot, Buck, but This whole idea that white men destroyed America. I mean, if you're a young white kid, it's now spread into young black kids and Hispanic kids and Asian kids. Being a man, being a young man is seen as somehow lesser. And how do we get men to be strong men? That is really kind of the essence of the book. And why has Trump become this avatar in many ways of a masculine man for young men who don't have a lot of male role models? And partly a lot of the book goes after men too, Buck, because there's a lot of absent dads. And absent dads, I think, create weak young men because the men who create life are not doing a good job of instilling backbone and toughness and endurance and all of these masculine virtues because they're absent. And so how do we build stronger, more masculine men who are capable of taking on the role of men in America? And certainly I think it's happening all around the world, but this is focused on our country. So I spend a lot of time thinking about it. I got 3 young boys, and so this was an important story, I think, to examine for me.
Absolutely. And I know that we separately, you talked about this one day I was out, and then I just brought it up, and you've been focused on this. But just by way of, and I knew this would be something like the list, we've talked about the positive role models for I think for dads out there, meaning competent, strong, good dads in pop culture, in media. And if you just do, I just did a Google search, so it's Google. You know what comes up? Carl Winslow, Family Matters. By the way, I mean, he's like overweight, and it's a little bit of a.
But he was a cop.
But he's a cop and a good guy.
No,
I watch that show religiously. I give that. Phil Dunphy, he's likable, but he's a little bit, he does a little bit of the nerd thing, from a Modern Family. And I think there's a lot of left-wing propaganda in Modern Family, although it's very clever. The Andy Griffith Show, Little House on the Prairie. I mean, you're going back now. When were those shows even on the air? And that's the first stuff that comes up. And then for movies, To Kill a Mockingbird. Again, when was that out? It's been a long time. And the other movies I see here, I've never even heard of some of these movies. So we can't have you can't have a dad that is in pop culture that you also as a dad can look at and be like, yeah, that's how we do it. That's the way it gets done.
I mean, I think we took the idea that men could be heroes of stories away in the 21st century. And I mean, yes, pop culture is a huge part of this. I mean, the fact that you have to go back to Michael, what was his name? The star of Little House on the Prairie as a great father figure, Pa, on the Ingalls family. I mean, that's crazy that we would have to go all the way back to there. And yeah, this is a big part of what the book is. So please go buy it. It would mean a lot to me. I want this book to be everywhere. I want people to have this conversation, even on CNN and MSNBC. So we got a provocative title, but it's a good book, Balls. Look, this past weekend, Halloween and football. And I don't know about you, but we put my youngest kid on his bike. He doesn't have a cell phone. He doesn't have any ability for us to track him, unlike his older brothers. We give him Rapid Radio. It's a walkie-talkie that allows him to stay in touch with us no matter where he is. Rapid radios work on a nationwide LTE network. They connect to anyone in the U.S., and they make such a huge difference. Battery can last up to 5 days without a charge. No monthly fees, no complicated setup. I hear from people all the time, hey, this thing worked when nothing else was working for me. What do you have to lose? Try them out. Go to rapidradios.com to make sure that all of you can have a way to get in touch with your family. We use it for my mother-in-law. We use it for my youngest son out there. You're going to love it. Rapidradios.com, code radio. That's rapidradios.com, code radio. Sign up today.